Hi, this is Maria the Bean, and you're watching 21st Pilots Lounge.
Hey, I'm Ash.
I'm Lisa with Victron Printing.
This is Lucy.
I'm Vanessa Ainsley.
This is Alexia Rodriguez.
I'm Cafe Sparrow.
What's poppin' is JUBS.
I'm Violin Elf, and you're watching
21st Pilots Lounge.
21st Pilots Lounge.
21st Pilots Lounge.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to 21st Pilots Lounge. Today we have JUBS, formerly JulieGoLive, the artist formerly known as Julie. Welcome in, Julie. How are you doing today? Welcome to the 21st Pilots Lounge.
What's poppin', Pilot? I'm doing pretty darn good. Just woke up feeling somewhat conscious. We're getting there. We're working our way towards consciousness, which is good collectively. I'm pretty excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming on and expressing your interest by coming on here. I noticed you were there for our catch-up interview with your friend and bandmate Maria, who we'll talk about more later on. Yeah, that was our relaunch stream to kind of get this back out. It's kind of like a reboot. I'm sure nowadays you folks are familiar with reboots in Hollywood. So we had our own little reboot.
Is this the live action version this time?
Yes, live action, CGI, whole new cast. We gender swapped a few people, except me, because I'm still gendered, and you're still the same gender, right?
So far.
Can you imagine if Twitch hired actors and people to make fun of their own streamers?
Like lookalikes? They were like, I don't want to pay Amaranth to be on our show, so we're just going to hire an Amaranth lookalike.
Yes.
It's just some scrawny guy with a breastplate on and a wig. He's just like, what up, guys?
People will
it's me,
pay for
Ammo.
I think people will pay for that. Yeah.
I'd watch the hell out of that.
You would? I would simp for that so hard.
Love Amaranth.
Yeah, she's actually a smart business lady. For someone who shows her cleavage all the time, you think she's some airheaded bimbo when she's not. But
no, sex workers are usually some of the smartest people I know.
Exactly. Surprisingly so. I mean, I guess to us casual folk, although you're not very casual, right? Are you a casual
dude,
folk?
I'm pretty chill. I don't know. I'm pretty comfy. I'm pretty casual. I don't know. I'm not formal. I don't have a bow tie on. Was this a formal interview? Was I supposed to? I'm sorry. If I was supposed to get dressed up, I can go get a suit real quick.
No need for that.
Looking drippy, dude. Looking drippy.
Thank you. Alrighty, so first off, I noticed you just came back from a 2-week stint over in MacEwan University over in Alberta. Can you tell us about that? How was your stay there?
Yeah, so me and, as you know, Maria the Bean, me Arlequin, bless her heart, we both got invited to come down to MacEwan University in Edmonton, which is 3.5 hours from where we are right now, for an artist residency for 2 weeks. I didn't really know what I was getting into, because an artist residency can mean 50 different things. So the ones that I've heard of are usually you get shipped off to somewhere away from everything. You don't have good cell phone reception. There's not usually a big city nearby. You're not in a city or anything like that. And you just get a certain amount of time to just work on your practice. Usually they have a recording studio in there, and you get to, a lot of people go on residencies to record a whole album or some shit like that. So that's what I thought. But I also knew it was at a university in a major city. So I really had no damn clue what I was getting into whatsoever. But it was free, and they were giving me free food. And I was like, I'm going to be there if I'm getting fed two times a day. And I can't even do that for myself. Let's go. So we pull up, and there's 15 other artists there, and everybody's nervous and everybody's terrified. And it is basically just 2 weeks worth of 9 to 5 classes, one-on-one meetings, workshops, co-writing sessions, and you record one single in a multi-million-dollar studio with a fancy band and a bunch of producers and shit like that. So it was different than what I expected, but in a very, very good way. And I am so very glad that I got to do that, because I made friends, which is huge. I don't make those. So this was a big deal, for one. And then for two, I got a plan for the next year and a half. It's freaking awesome. I did not have that. I had a lot of fun at that residency, and I'm really glad that I did it. And I feel like I've got like some crazy shit cooking up, and it's really helped the whole music side of everything. But I did miss streaming while I was down there. I only streamed like twice in 2 weeks, which is crazy for me.
Yeah, I remember you did a couple of streams from your dorm.
Yeah, and
so-
everybody kept saying it was prison. It wasn't prison. I could leave, but I did. There was one the first stream I did in there, I accidentally locked the door to my room inside the dorm.
Oh.
I locked it. I don't know how, because I don't think it should be physically possible. But like the door closed while I was like, oh, BRB, I gotta go piss, chat. So I close the door and I leave. And I'm talking to Maria and I was like, oh yeah, they think I'm in prison. They think I can't get out. That's so funny. And then I go to check the door and it's locked.
Mm-hmm.
And chat is on like full volume text to speech mode. The window's open and the camera is pointed directly at the door.
I think I remember you said you came back. It took you a minute to come back.
Dude, I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, oh God. Because this is like, my dorm wasn't like in a little secluded area either. The window was directly pointed to like the main building entrance. There were people walking by at all times. It was,
Oh. So
it
people
was
can
there.
It's like, what are
So-
these voices coming out of the window?
Yeah. So it's just like this text to speech going dick and balls and like bullshit like that. And so I go into the chat frantically on Maria's phone and I'm like, hey guys, it's JUBS. I locked you guys in accidentally. I need to go get a locksmith right the fuck now. I'll be back. And so I'm like, chat, be normal. And of course they're not going to be normal when they find out they're unattended with the window open. They were like, help me, crazy streamer bitch is pulling on my dick or something like that. It was crazy. It was a lot. Thankfully, we go up to the front desk. I'm also like kind of stoned at this point too. So I'm like freaking, I'm spiraling, right? Maria's barely holding me together. We get to the front desk. Lady's like, oh, you locked the door to your room inside your dorm room. And I'm like, yes, I don't know what to do. And she's like, do you not have a key? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, the 2 keys we gave you. And I was like, yeah, one of them doesn't work for the main door. And she's like, yeah. I wonder why that is. I wonder why we would give you 1 key that works for the front door and 1 key that doesn't work for the front door, but your own room inside your dorm. I wonder why we would do that to you. So then I hung my head. I walked slowly back. And I tried my key in the door. And it didn't work. But I tried Maria's key in the door. And it did work. We just swapped our keys.
Oh.
So that was awesome. That was great. That wasn't the most stressful 30 minutes of my entire life whatsoever.
Would you say that was probably one of the craziest moments you had in your stream?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No, the fact that you put us in an airport right now made me think that you dug up some shit. I was so worried. This was my first like ban scare on Twitch. I thought I was gonna get banned because I had a layover in the Denver airport, and so I decided to stream the whole thing because I'm a genius. And I was like, and as you IRL stream, you have to piss. So naturally, I was like, BRB chat, you're going in. I'm muting you. You're going in my purse. I'll see you in like 3 minutes. I mute them. I put them in my purse. I do my business. I leave. I take my phone out of my purse. I go, hi, chat. I press the unmute button. I go, hi, chat. And they're like, you're muted now.
Oh. So you didn't mute the whole time you were taking a piss. So we heard you taking a piss.
They heard me pissing. They heard me empty my balls, dude. And of course it's in the middle of the airport that I'm finding this out. I'm alone. And like there's like the intercom being like, please report all suspicious activity to the nearest agent or whatever. And I'm like sitting on the fucking conveyor belt thing, like having a mental breakdown, being like, chat, nobody clip mods. Can we unpublish, please? Nobody say shit. Don't say shit. It was a lot.
Yes.
Thank God. It's been years and nobody's caught me. And I think I'm good now. I think they're
going to find out now. So people, it's like you're taking
this is all hearsay.
You took a piss stream in the most like conspirative place in the world. Did you hear about the conspiracy that like there's like an underground city under the Denver airport?
That was not one of the secrets I wanted to find.
Oh, yeah. There's like some sort of like conspiracy that there's something underground there, and that there's like a cult living under there. I have no clue why that's even a thing, but if you look it up, it's like a whole thing about it. But so
Got, like creepy paintings and shit too. I saw a bunch of those, which was awesome.
I think that's another thing. Like they think that's part of the underground cult under the airport for some reason. It's like what? I don't get it. I thought you meant by residency as in like you were going to like play out of one specific venue for like a week or two. But this was actually like a university course. It seems like it was actually courses you took, classes you took. So like I noticed on your stories that you were posting stuff about like recording and like vocals, and the lasagna that you ate. But you tell us about the food and like what were the classes like? Can you walk us through a couple of those?
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, like another kind of artist residency is where you just spend like a couple weeks playing at the same venue over and over again. This was, I genuinely, like I said, I had no idea what I was getting into. But yeah, so basically day to day, we would have 2 classes a day that are a couple hours each. All relating to something to do with music. There was songwriting courses where we'd like, get a prompt and then you'd write and then we'd all share. There was, we had some like keynote speakers who came in and we'd show them our music and they'd roast it, but nicely. They didn't really say roast it. I think it was critique was the word they used, but same difference. We had some classes on mental health, we did a songwriting master class. I did a lot of classes in Logic, so learning about different DAWs. A lot of one-on-one classes as well with just different instructors who were either faculty at the university or just people who know what the hell they're talking about, which was really nice. And yeah, we got breakfast every morning and we got lunch in the afternoon, and then supper was our own problem. But since it was like a catered thing, like a buffet style catered thing, you could just take some Tupperware. You could just take some Tupperware. But it was really heavy, really rich food, I will say. Like by like week 2, all of us were like, oh, God damn it. Fucking, we're having pasta again. And we're all like, oh, but you know what? It's free food. And I genuinely don't eat. I struggle with like trying to feed myself a day. So it was such a load off of my like mental health to just have that be dealt with. To just be like, I'm fed today. That's not a problem. So that was actually a really huge part of it for me, of why I liked it. But yeah, so like 9 till 4, we'd be doing that kind of stuff. And then after that, it was kind of up to whatever we wanted to do. For the first half week, I spent all of my free time working on a demo, because I was one of the first people who they were putting in studio for our capstone project, which was the single that we were recording down there. Most people had it in the second week, so they had time to like figure it out. I didn't, and I didn't know what song I was going to do until I came down, because I wanted to meet the band and get the vibe of what we were doing. So I had like 3 days to shit out a demo that was effective enough to get the idea across. It didn't have to be good, it just had to be effective. So I set up a little studio in the corner of my little dorm room. And by studio, I mean I had a microphone and a MIDI controller with 10 buttons on it. And I got it done. I finished it, and it was good. And then after recording day, which was a whole day process, for me, honestly, after classes was pretty chill. I hung out with new friends. I went to a party or two, and I played some shows as well.
Oh, wow. Did anybody know that you were like a big streamer? Like, did you play like originals for them and all that? Show them your YouTube and all?
I mean, I heard that people were talking about me.
In what sense?
like I was like we had a lot of courses. We didn't really have a course on social media. But whenever social media came up and someone asked a question and one of the faculty didn't know the answer, I would help out, right? I would just be like, oh, here's how it works, blah, 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 blah. And it would figure it all out. And then I was, doing co-writing sessions with some artists, and one of them was like, "So you're like, you have like a following," and I was like, "How do you know this?" And she's like, "Oh, people were talking about it," and I was like, "Oh God, they're talking shit about me behind my." No, it was all good things. It was all very nice things, but it was just like being perceived was terrifying. By the second week, people knew what the fuck was up. And basically, I was helping out a lot of people with their social medias as well while I was there, which was cool.
Oh, that's awesome. You're like passing it on. You're passing on what you know and stuff, like your experience. It's like you're passing on your gifts. It's like, great partnered streamer Twitch. Can you please show me how to manage my Twitter or my social media profile? Or how about, did you help anybody like set up streaming? Like, did anyone ever want to do that?
But nobody was really willing to bite the bullet, which is fair because I gave them the pros and the cons. And I told them why it works for me and why it's hard to do these days, why it's really, really difficult to break into these days. But I also was like, I don't really like most of the people I met who wanted to do Twitch streaming wanted to do DJing, which I just don't know enough about to really do too much help with because I know they just did a new policy on that and everything.
Yes.
But I was like, if you guys have any questions, like I can send you to a friend who knows way more about it and all that kind of stuff. But it was mostly like helping out with like, oh, what videos do I shoot? Oh, what the heck is monetization? Oh, what the heck is ad revenue? Stuff like, oh, how does YouTube work? Just like little things like that where it's like, yeah, for me, it makes sense. And I'm happy to describe it in a way that makes sense to other people.
So that's cool. You got to kind of have your hand in teaching a little bit. Like you guys kind of teach each other things, kind of learn from each other.
Oh, absolutely.
So did you have to like provide all your own instruments, your own equipment, and you just show up as like, are you aware of the curriculum beforehand, or like, is there, okay.
Yeah.
Was this an expensive venture? Like, cause it looks pretty dope. I would love to do something like that. Like for anyone who would want to go to MacEwan for the course, like, is this a thing they offer year round or like?
Didn't have to provide any of my own equipment if I didn't want to. But because I am like a guitarist, as like when I band lead, I usually play guitar. I brought my guitar with me. I brought my violin just in case, but I didn't even open it, which was actually quite lovely.
Violin.
Yeah, it's. We can talk about that later. It's a whole thing. But but since I brought a guitar and not a lot of people, I had a lot of other artists who were there who also used my guitar, which was just a treat. It was lovely. And I got to use the session guitarist Jamie. He let me use his Stratocaster and it was so good. I was so happy. So this was sponsored by a bank.
Oh.
It was free. It was $0. I got to stay in residence for free. I got fed for free. I got the whole program for free. That is not normal, but it was sponsored. They do it once a year and you have to apply for it. Like, I think I applied in December or something. Maria sent me it. And it was a pretty easy form. So it was like, whatever. And yeah, it was actually $0, which is why they wanted to host it for people who just wouldn't be able to do it normally.
Interesting.
So a lot of us were folks, like most of the folks who were there had no university experience. And a lot of them also were like in small towns and shit like that, I was pretty lucky to get in. I feel like, but I also like dropped out of college because I couldn't afford to keep going. So
Same.
It kind of worked out for me to be able to go back to a college like that was really a wonderful opportunity.
You see, college campuses are an interesting environment, aren't they? Like, you just do you feel comfortable in them? Like, do you feel like you want to learn? Like, you want to engulf your mind? Like, you want to study for exams and all that good stuff, right?
With college was in formal classical music education, and that is not a system in which I thrive. It's not meant for people like me. So for me, my university experience, as much as I enjoyed the people and I enjoyed a lot of the information I was getting, the environment itself decimated me as a human. So once I was done 4 years and they said, you still can't graduate, I said, I don't care. I'm leaving anyways. So
man.
Yeah, going back to the college, I was a little tense. I was a little worried. But this was really chill. It was like there was one building I didn't have to go into any other buildings if I didn't want to. And the one building was like a very new building that they constructed for arts. All of the rooms, there was no asbestos. All the rooms had like music equipment, and they were really well soundproofed, and like, oh, it was just a really lovely environment. It didn't feel super collegey, and it wasn't treated super collegey either. Like all the instructors were like peers. They weren't trying to talk down at you at all, which was such a wonderful difference to what I'm used to.
That's awesome. It looked like a really cool place. Like it was constructed for music and arts and stuff. So it felt like an art school versus the actual 4-year college. So you're not intimidated. You don't have to worry about the jocks or like, the usual college kids. You're with the artistic folk. Yes. There you go. I love that. That would be right there with you guys. That would be so dope to go to. So can you tell us about where you're from? What was little Julie like?
Oh God, that was a goddamn menace. I grew up on a little property outside of a small town called Sylvan Lake up north in Alberta, which is where I am now, is Alberta. But like little central Alberta type thing. It was a vacation town because it had a lake, which was a big deal. There was like water slides and shit, so all the city people would come in the summers and do it. I grew up on a little property outside of town, and all my neighbors had farms, so I'd help out on the farms most summers and all that kind of stuff. And when I got to be like, I don't know, like 8 or 10, we moved into town. And I spent the rest of my childhood to adulthood there. Just in, walking to school, walking everywhere. It was very much a small town vibe. But I was a menace. I was not a good kid. I won't sugarcoat it. I was put into music when I was very, very young, like 3 or 4. I was put into piano classes purely so that I'd stop annoying the shit out of my sibling. Didn't work, but I really appreciated having some sort of distraction. So that's when I started taking music, and I tried sports, I tried everything else, but music stuck. So I was put into classical training when I was very, very young. I started out in classical piano, but I was like 3. So it was less like learning how to play Bach, and it was more learning how to say Bach and then hitting some keys and then going home. But it was still a good environment, and I really enjoyed doing it. But as I got older, I got a little bored with just pushing buttons. So I started playing violin. And that was sort of my main gig for most of my growing up. I was a classical violinist. I taught violin. I played violin. I was in some bands and projects playing violin. I played Metallica covers with a drummer on violin. Wow. I played guitar when I got to be a teenager, just for fun. I did like backup in some groups. I did like backup singing and some guitar. But I was never too serious about it. I was supposed to go to college for violin when I finally got the money and courage to move out when I was like 19, I think. Because I had to stay an extra year just to like build up more money so that I could go. But then I did. I moved 2 hours away, which for me is a big deal. Up to down to Calgary, which is where I am now, and went to college I was supposed to go for classical violin.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got into music very early on as a deterrent from your sibling. You said it wasn't much of a deterrent, though. It didn't work very well. So it's like,
no,
did you
we
annoy
fucking hated each other. Holy shit, we hated each other. Okay, so here's the thing. Both of us are like a little fucked up in the head. Like we both got a little something going on in here. Like there should have been things diagnosed way earlier than they were. And because of that, we did not function well together because we physically couldn't communicate at all. So we'd just put each other into distress at all times. And we'd always live in these like tiny little houses where we'd have to share everything. And so it got very tense, and it continued to be very tense the whole time that we were growing up together. Now we live separately, and we are delightful. We host a drag show together. We are good. But every now and then they're like, oh my God, we should move in together. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. What is happening is not that. I don't care. We're not doing that. Because I'm not going back to that.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I can totally relate to the siblings. We both have problems and total menaces too. Yeah, I could relate to the problem siblings that live together. Like if you live together, you're horrible, but when you're apart, you're a lot better. It's like, just see each other once in a
Exactly.
while. So the violin, man, I played the violin too in middle school.
Let's go.
Were you like lead or like were you ever in orchestra or did you just play it solo or?
You want to know something awesome? My town was so small that there was no orchestra anywhere nearby. The closest thing was that there was a fiddle group, and I played in a few fiddle groups. But it was a lot of, it was a little slow moving for me. So I mostly did solo stuff. I did violin in like, projects for other people. But it was mostly like classical solo chamber music, which was
Really?
yeah, it was
Chamber
I-
music.
yeah, chamber music.
What is-
It was something that I liked. In hindsight, I didn't really enjoy what I was playing or why I was playing it, but I really liked being good at something. I really liked having something special that I was good at that nobody else I knew was good at. It felt good to do that. However, the actual thing I was doing, not my favorite, turns out. I'm not a classical violin fan. So
So you were good at it, but
Yeah.
you didn't have as much of a passion for the instrument as you felt like you should have. Yeah, that honestly plays a role with consistency with the instrument. Like,
yeah.
I love the idea of playing the instrument at first sounds great. Like you see it on a show or something or hear it. But when you're actually learning it and like performing and playing with it in front of people, it's like just it kind of changes your mind about it. You either fall in love with it or you fall out of love with it. Would you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, and it's also violin has just like a high barrier to entry. For one, they cost a goddamn arm and a leg. You have to fix them all the damn time.
They're fragile.
And oh god, and it takes years and years to get to the point where even you like how you sound, like
Right.
even just a little bit on a good day. Like it's such a difficult barrier to entry.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like getting past that point was so exciting. It was such a cool process to get past that point and to see how far I could push it. To feel like I was really excelling at something special. But when I got to college, I was already going to physio once to twice a week for my hands, just because putting your hands like this all the time, not good if you already have like a genetic disposition to having bad hands. So I was already doing physio all the time for them. And on the way to physio, I got in a car accident, which was really funny in hindsight. So I had to call a physio and be like, I'm not going to be there, but I will definitely be rescheduling. Basically that was the straw that broke the camel's back, where they were like, maybe pick a different career choice, you idiot. And I was like, okay, this is the only thing I've ever been good at, but okay. So like a week into college, I had to basically talk to all the profs and be like, what the hell do I do? The other thing I was good at was classical piano. I was pretty much at the same level of that. But once again, something that doesn't involve your hands, there aren't very many options in the music category. So they sent me towards the vocal prof. And she thankfully gave me very good resources and 3 months to re-audition and let me in. I wouldn't say that I was very good, but she let me into the program so that I could stick around and do the composition stuff, which is what I really wanted to do.
Composition. So you wanted to be an instrumentalist. You didn't really want to sing. Like, was that not your forte yet? Because you sounded like you started off with just instruments. Like,
I know I sung backup in a few things, and like I wrote like folk music just for me, but like
Right.
it wasn't ever something that I like thought I was good at. It was never something that I like thought I could be good at, because I grew up with a lot of like I performed in a lot of bands and stuff like that where the singers were just incredible. I was absolutely floored by these people, and I was like, it took them so long to get where they are at. I'm already like 19, 20. There's no point, right? I was like, I don't really need to deal with that. I already have something else that I'm better at that I don't mind. So yeah, I didn't really think that singing was my thing. And to be honest, my college experience with singing didn't really sell it on me either, because I did classical voice, which is opera, which is not, in fact, what I excel at.
Can you still do it?
I couldn't do it then.
Oh.
It was a lot of studying languages and linguistics as a concept, so that you could sing in other languages and not sound like an asshole. And a lot of working on how you can make your voice sound without a microphone, basically, like trying to get as much resonance as possible. But yeah, no, I was in the composition program because I liked writing music. I thought that writing music was really fun and interesting and a way to be creative. And it also was not something where I had to perform. So being a voice major who sucked at voice was okay because I was in the composition program. I was mostly writing all the time. So it was a lot easier. And the composition program, you still wrote for voice if you wanted to. But it was mostly working on like orchestral stuff that would be in like films or played by ensembles at like formal shows and shit like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. So were you like, who are your musical inspirations growing up? It sounds like you liked a lot of like theatrical composition and, classical. So, but who else did you listen to?
I didn't listen to classical music. I just played it.
You just, oh, okay.
But for music that I listened to, my family was really big on 80s rock and roll, of course. One of my first inspirations was Queen. I was a huge fan of Brian May and, of course, Freddie Mercury. When I started doing singing, I looked to him first. So I really like Queen. I love Led Zeppelin. That was a huge one growing up as well. Was kind of the reason why I picked up the guitar, honestly. That and the White Stripes. Because White Stripes, I was like, I can play this. Okay, we can start here and we can go up from here. I really liked blues a lot. I liked the Doors. I liked Robert Johnson. And as I got into my teen years, I really got into jazz. So I was really enjoying people like Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong, of course, Oscar Peterson, a goddamn Canadian piano legend. Love him to death. I would commit heinous acts of violence for him. And then as I got older, I got into hip hop for a bit, and then funk, and yeah, I mean, things just sort of travel as they do. I don't really stick to one genre, but it started out with a love for rock and roll. I've always been a big fan of it.
Classic rock and roll. All the bands you named, definitely favorites as well. Yeah, I mean, Freddie Mercury's like vocal range just completely just out of this world.
Yeah, he studied opera.
Yeah.
So when I found out that I had to do that, I was like, okay, if Freddie can do it, I can do it. Let's fucking go. That was like the main reason why I agreed to actually be in the program. Was I was like, okay, if he did it and it didn't ruin his voice, it didn't change who he was, I can do it and it'll be fine. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Just everybody in Queen, Brian May, like, Roger Taylor and all, Johnny Deacon. It's like they're all very talented guys, and it's just so crazy how like one band can just be so iconic. It's just such a unique sound. So, I mean, you've seen Bohemian Rhapsody, right?
Of course I have.
Chef's Kiss, great film. Like they just nailed it right out of the park there with that one. Like
I'm like a really big Queen fan, like a really big Queen fan. So I wasn't too happy on how they portrayed a lot of the story, but I think that the artistic vision of like redoing all of Live Aid and the audio engineering of the whole movie, all of that shit blew my dick off, dude. I was floored. I thought that was like the last like 20 minutes where they just shot for shot Live Aid. I was sitting in my seat, fucking jaw on the floor, freaking out. I was like, this is why music exists, is to get this,
Oh man, yeah, you're right. Like we actually studied Live Aid in music appreciation class in university, and like we like just I love that whole. I think I know that whole set is word for word almost. Like I just love that like that live version, that little snippet they did of a Bohemian Rhapsody. I think it's like almost better than the original. Like it just sounds so much better. Like I would love to sing that one part in karaoke, like rather than the whole song. Like would you agree? Like what's your like your go-to karaoke song?
Oh God, I don't do karaoke very often. I like to watch other friends do karaoke, and I support. But if I had to choose, it would probably be tequila or um
Tequila.
Rapper's Delight.
Have you, one time I saw Adam Lambert with Queen, and that was
Yeah.
pretty dope. Like like Adam Lambert sounds so good live. Like he just kills it. He's not Freddie, but just seeing like him play with the surviving members of Queen was just. They played all their hits. Like it's just like this is the closest we're gonna get to to them now. It's just like, wow. Did you ever see videos of them or anything like that? Like, what do you think?
I actually got to see their first tour. I got to see their first tour with Adam Lambert because my mom was so excited and I was so excited. Like my whole family loves Queen. Like that's like our band. So when we heard that they were coming around and that Adam Lambert was fronting them, which, my family watched American Idol and we all thought he was robbed. So it was like, get us down there. It's not Freddie. It's never going to be Freddie. We're not asking for Freddie. But my God, I cried a lot. It was a really special concert for me, especially since they, like, Brian May and I think Roger Taylor also brought their sons to play with them in the band and stuff like that. And it was just like, you could tell that this was just a great, everybody was happy, you know? Nobody was like, oh, who's this new guy? It was like, no, everybody's so cool with it. It was wonderful. It was like, it felt like somewhere where Adam Lambert also was thriving, which was so cool to see.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it made sense. Like he's a very talented gay man, like Freddie, but like it's just kind of made sense in a way to have Adam Lambert, someone of his caliber. I mean, he's like a famous singer, so it's like he wasn't like a nobody. Can you talk to us about your beginnings with Twitch? How did it come about? How did JulieGoLive and JUBS become a thing?
Well, like most people on Twitch who have been here for a while, I started during the pandemic. I was just sort of starting this voice thing. I was just figuring out what I wanted out of my voice, and I was writing a lot of music about, like I had a lot to write about. I had to completely pivot my whole life. It was a crazy like couple months right before pandemic. And then of course pandemic hits and I was planning on like actually for the first time in my life like trying to perform solo. I had a bunch of gigs lined up. I was gonna really try to make this music thing happen the way I want it to. And of course all that got taken away. And I was like, you bitches, how dare you? So I was watching a lot of artists that I enjoyed on Instagram. Just like they were like, oh, this venue still wants to host my show. We will just put up our phone and put it on Instagram instead and live stream it there. And I thought that was cute. Like I watched a lot of Leanne LaHavas's shows that way and it was very nice. I thought it was very cute. I tried doing that. And the issue with Instagram Live is that it's just your friends. And I get weird when I know everybody. So I didn't like that. Especially since I was trying something new. I was trying something that I wasn't really comfortable with, right? I had no confidence. So doing that for just my peers who were like groups of people who were all extraordinary at music was not the vibe. So I had already been on Twitch for years because of GDQ, Games Done Quick. They do speedrunning marathons for charity. And I loved those. And I watched like Moist Critical and like Jay Schlatt and a couple other people too, just for fun. But I was like, live streaming is a thing. There's got to be music on live. So I went through and I found like Raquel and Anel and I found Existence 130 and a couple other people. And through there, I watched a bunch of the bigger streamers and I asked a lot of questions in the smaller streamers streams. Like if someone had like 10 viewers or less and they were actually actively talking to the audience, I would be like, hey, so like, what's your setup? Like, how do you get started on this? What's the what software do you use and stuff like that? So I just slowly started building up a little setup for myself in the basement of the duplex I was renting. There was no windows. There was no walls. It was all concrete. I had one outlet for everything and one shitty laptop. And I was like, fuck it. At the very least, this will be a good place to practice. And I could really use the accountability to practice what I'm trying to do here. So I just didn't really tell anybody. I made like a little shitty Facebook post with like a stock image of a guinea pig. And it was like, going to be playing music on stream. Come say hi. And like nobody IRL showed up, but there was like 3 or 4 viewers on, and I had a little set list. I played like an hour, chatted when people chatted, and when people weren't talking, I'd play music. And I thought it was pretty cool. I was having a lot of fun with it. I really struggled with editing videos back when, like, TikTok was blowing up during the pandemic. So I was like, I want to do this online thing, but I'm really struggling with actually doing the editing thing. It was stressing me out way too much. So streaming was just no editing. No editing. It was perfect. I could just show up. I could just do my thing. And then I could fuck off, and I didn't have to worry about anything. It was quite nice. So it was an environment that I really, really felt like I could be comfortable in, and it really helped me be able to talk to people. I got a little touch of autism, so it was really hard for me, especially when everything went online, to actually keep social and to keep sane. So that was a really good way of keeping myself from spiraling, essentially, because it was really easy for me to do that during the pandemic. So yeah, and as I kept streaming, I kept making more friends with other music streamers and other streamers in general. We'd raid each other, and the community would build and build. And I mean, eventually it got big enough where I was like, I lost my job because of the pandemic. I'm not really worried anymore. That was a really insanely exciting thing for me, where I felt like I actually had a future in not only music but in entertainment, which was something I always thought was cool, but I never thought that I could do it, So yeah,
This was a
and
brand new
that was like,
venture. Yeah.
oh yeah, it was something that I always look, as all Gen Zers do, I always looked up to YouTubers. I thought that they were just cool people, and I really wanted to make something fun. I wanted to make something fun and entertaining that I enjoyed, and I found it in Twitch. I found it in live streaming in general, but definitely in Twitch.
That's awesome. So you definitely did all the right things. You came in during the pandemic when the music scene was blowing up completely. We're all stuck at home. Let's see. There's McDoodle, the Violin Habit, and like I said, Annelle and even Julie Clark. So she was also really kind of getting big. And I don't know if you ever knew Captain Jenny or Captain Books. Like she's got the puppets.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, I've been following her for a long time. I actually mod for her, but
awesome.
And yeah, so it's like it was just great. Like it was cool because she was like really into the 21 Pilots. So like, she would put on 21 Pilots sets. Like it was like providing a concert for the fans during lockdown because we didn't have concerts. So as a viewer, like, at the time, it's like I used to love going to concerts. I'd go to concerts all the time, like for 10 years straight, just shows, festivals, everything. And then once everything shut down, it was like, oh, okay, no more concerts. But when I go on Twitch, I started discovering Twitch like through, like you found them through gamers, right? Like so people you'd watch people like speedrun, like same thing with me. Like kind of I follow like celebrities on there, like UFC fighters and athletes and stuff, and voice actresses. And so then I found a music category. I saw this little petite girl playing the saxophone, McDoodle, and I was like, "Whoa, there's music on here. There's musicians." And from there, it's like I get a concert every night now. It's like instead of having to wait till the next concert, like buy tickets and go to the show. At the time, it was like a premium luxury, and you guys really delivered. So I do wish I found you during the pandemic. I didn't actually meet you until your best friend Maria told me about you. You networked. That's another thing too. A lot of people always ask me like, how do you grow? You have to network. You have to raid. You have to post in Discords. You have to have the person. Well, I mean, the personality helps too, right? Like you have a very outgoing. You have a very I don't know. I want to say the word outlandish. Like, you're very out there.
I don't think before I speak. Yeah, I don't think before I speak. I'm impulsive. I think is the word I would use. Yeah.
You provide the shock factor that I think is very appealing to like the usual casual viewer. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like usually like. Not gonna say names, but like usually the music streamer is kind of like, oh, thank you for the applause, and oh, thank you for coming, and thank you for the follow, and then you're just like, hey, what the fuck are you?
No, I don't hold back on these motherfuckers. It's I want to make an environment that I enjoy, And I think that there is a space, and there are so many people who fill that void of commercially wonderful music and a great stream to put on in the background of family dinners and shit like that. I'm not that. I don't want to be that. I want to have something where someone puts it on and then they start doing something else and then they keep on looking back like, what the fuck?
That's me.
And then they start typing and they're like, what's going on? And then I'm like, you're in this now too, motherfucker. Come on, sit down. And it's like a whole thing. You know, like I like the chaos. I think that the excitement for me is with, you know, making sure that I'm not just sitting there playing music. Because I tried that for a while. When I was doing my partner push, it was all like being a commercially polite, good streamer so that when I apply, they don't see me saying cock and balls 100 times in a row and get me kicked out. Because that's why Jay Schlatt didn't get partner. And I was like, I'm not going to be him.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to be him. I can't be him. I don't want to be him. So, yeah, I tried it for a while and it sapped the life out of me. Some people are just naturally that. I'm not. So it was worth the push, but it was not worth sticking with.
Gotcha. So you're trying to act all like nice and polite, commercial, corporate friendly, and then after you get hired on or you get that promotion,
I got tenure, bitches.
exactly.
Can't fire me.
But you did. It sounds like you definitely worked hard for it. So it's like you just like streamed a lot. You did all the right stuff, came in at the right time, and you just.
I mean, there's one little secret though.
What's that?
One little secret. Reddit live streams. I don't know if you know Reddit used to have a live streaming service. Did you know that?
Yes.
God, it was called RPAN for anybody who's watching who doesn't know. Reddit Public Access Network, and it was like you only had a certain amount of time on, like unless you got upvotes. And then your time would go up. So you'd have like 15 minutes or something to like prove that you're good enough to stick on. And then if people liked you, you would get more time, basically. But there was a few musicians on there. There was Kimmery Sky, there was Office Drummer, there was a few others, and myself. And we kind of figured out that people really liked the music stuff and that the algorithm would push that like first, essentially. You know, us and Therapy Gecko. Those were the two vibes. So if we timed it right, we could get on the front page of Reddit any night we wanted to. So pretty much every night at midnight for like 3 months, I was on the front page of Reddit, which was crazy. I had concurrently like at least 50 to 80,000 viewers, and I had millions of views on these streams, and it was just me exhausted playing guitar. I didn't have to put in any real like crazy effort. I just had to make sure that there wasn't anything that they'd bully me about that I cared about. And it was fine. Which was really, the trolls were a very good part of that. And that was what I do is I had a little text box that said, this person just followed me on Twitch. Thank you, gamer, or some shit that would pop up whenever someone would follow me on Twitch. So it would bring people over to Twitch. And then they killed RPAN. They were like, we can't afford to keep this going. And I was like, everybody get on the boat, get on the boat, get on the boat, get on the boat. And a good amount of people did. A lot of people didn't. That's okay. But yeah, I was one of the people who streamed on RPAN all the time. And that's where I got a lot of the push to partner was majority from Reddit, I would say.
Wow. So you took the multi-streaming, you took advantage of the numbers from other platforms. That's awesome. But Captain Jenny did the same thing with TikTok and like other platforms too, Kick. So like to get partner, you get the numbers and you get the viewership, because that's really all it really takes, right? At the time, like to get the partner push, like isn't like 75 people talking at the same time or something like that. Like some crazy number, right? Like, so thanks to that. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there. So that's a good marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was 75 concurrent viewers. They didn't have to be talking, but they had to be alive. They had to be alive, and they had to be like actively watching the stream.
Right.
Which is sometimes a battle, especially with raids and stuff. Like when I was doing my partner push, I was like, guys, refresh the stream if you just raided in and you want to stick around. Like, please, like, give me those numbers, baby. Give me those numbers. It was a lot. I got denied once or twice, I think, before I got partner. Just because the numbers they didn't trust them. They needed me to wait. So
yeah,
that's
good that they're careful about it. Like they're not allowing people with bots like to get partnered. I think back then it might have been easier, but like nowadays they're cracking down on it more.
And for me, it was that if something went viral,
Mm-hmm.
I would get more viewers. And they saw that and they were like, that's great. But we don't want someone who got viral once to get partner here. We want you to actually have longevity on the platform, which
Right.
hurts. It hurts. But I was also like, fine, bitches, I'll prove it to you. And like, it was a whole thing. It lit a fire under my ass. It was the most like emotionally tolling process, like the hardest Sigma grind set I've had to deal with for career stuff. But I don't really know. I think it was worth it just because I have a lot of resources that I use now, just behind the scenes to help me with safety and help me with going to TwitchCon is pretty cool. I'm not going this year, but in the past it's been really nice to have the purple check mark there.
No, not this
I
year.
wanted to, but it turns out that when you do the old pump and dump into music for a year straight, you don't really have excess income to go and do a fun little silly Twitch thing. And honestly, Las Vegas absolutely drained me. I hated Las Vegas. Can we pause for a second? I gotta pee.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, cool.
You actually muted yourself this time, right, when you did that?
I just stepped far enough away that you can't hear it.
Good. I didn't hear anything. No, you're good.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What was it about Vegas you didn't like about TwitchCon?
Have a lot of sensory issues, and I was in a hotel on the Strip every night, and I am a streamer, so I don't see people's faces too often. And I was surrounded by like strobe lighting essentially, and loud music and loud noises and people shuffling and people trying to get your attention, grabbing you and fucking trying to and everything is a maze. And everything on Google Maps looks like it'll take 20 minutes to get to. It's 2 hours of a walk. And that's not including all the fucking traffic. It was in the middle of the goddamn race that they were having. They were getting everything set up for that. So even if you wanted to take a cab, it's gonna take forever. Everything costs an arm and a leg. You want me to keep going? It's not meant for me. It wasn't meant for me. Blue Man Group was worth it. Puppetry of the Penis was also worth it. The rest of it was not worth it.
Okay.
Not for me. It wasn't meant for me.
Gotcha. The touristy part can be a headache. That's not all what Vegas is about, but as far as like what you experienced, like, okay, so what about like the con itself? Did you like the setup? It was fine. Like,
yeah, no, being at the convention was good. It was just, I was there for a week and I desperately wish I wasn't. I wish I had gone for the weekend and then came back, because it was just too much. It was just too much for me. It was by the last couple days, I just didn't leave the hotel just because I couldn't. And like the first day, the person who I came up with fucking tried to get us signed up for a timeshare. It wasn't the environment for me. Yeah, no, fucking, it wasn't my place. Someone, and at the timeshare meeting, the lady was making fun of me for being autistic, and I was like, I just don't want to be here anymore. This isn't the vibe. So,
oh God. Yeah, those timeshares.
I'm sure that it's great. Yeah, I'm sure that it's great for like someone who actually lives there and knows what the hell is up. But for me, being stuck in just the tourist stuff, completely oblivious to how that tourist stuff works, just like showing up and hoping for the best, not for me. Not for me.
Did you go to any of the showcases? Did you go to the late night buzz at Julie?
Of course.
You were
of course
there?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was fucking in the front row screaming. Dude, it was great.
Okay. I think I might have remember you seeing you there, but like, oh my God, Anel Stahl.
Yeah, no, they fucking murdered it. The band? Bro.
Yes.
Whoa. I was fucking shook. I was sitting there, jaw agape, just, I was so excited. Yeah, it was a great time. And it was great to see these people who like I've talked to for so long. And like, I talked to them the TwitchCon before and we had a little chat or whatever, but like, it's different when you're like, oh my God. And they're like, oh my God. And it was just sweet. It was just lovely.
TwitchCon is definitely a surreal experience, right? Like, you only know these people through the computer, but when you meet them in real life, it's like they're usually just as genuine as they are online. Like, just seeing them perform live is just something about seeing them actually perform, seeing what they actually do, not just in front of a camera. Like Sashi Boom was really good in real life, and Julie and all them. Like, it's like, wow, this is what they do. They're not just in front of a camera all day. What would you say the experience of like meeting your viewers, your fans and stuff, your community in person? What was that like for you for the first time?
Well, I'm in Alberta, So I don't see a lot of viewers too often. There's a couple local, but it's definitely different at TwitchCon. The idea of not wanting to harness parasocial relationships has always been sort of a really big mainstay of my content. Nobody in my chat is my friend. I don't know them like that, and if I do know you like that, then you have my phone number, basically. So I really make sure that nobody harnesses that, but nonetheless, when you go to something like TwitchCon, it's inevitable. For me, I'm a little fish big pond in TwitchCon. I'm not like I got the purple badge, but just barely, you know. So it's like I can sneak into all the places where all the higher echelon people are, but nobody knows who I am. Nobody gives a shit, which is kind of perfect. So when I meet people who I know online and like they know me online, but like maybe just from the username or something like that, I try to be as polite and standoffish as possible. I try to make sure that they are leading how much they want to interact, you know? You know, I say, hi, I like your content or something like that. And if they go, oh my God, hi, come give me a hug, then I'm like, ah, yeah. But you know, we don't start there. And from there, you know, a lot of my friends are other Twitch streamers, but I also want to make sure that if we're friends IRL, that it's up to them and stuff like that. However, pretty much all of the viewers I've met have been absolute gems. They have been like the kindest, sweetest people. You know, always, nobody's ever been overbearing or scary or weird. There's a couple people who were like they were clout chasers, you know. They'd see the purple check mark and they'd be like, hey, like, what you doing and shit like that, and that was icky. Which is something I've never experienced, is getting clout chased. But most of the viewers who actually knew me and I knew their username and all that, it was just delightful. Everybody's been really kind.
That's awesome.
And yeah, since TwitchCon, I've gone on a couple trips where I go to cities where I have viewers in them and we do meetups and stuff like that, and it's nice, especially when it's a smaller community. We just go out to like a dinner with all of us together, or like to a show or something like that, and it's not that deep, and it's really quite delightful. It's been really nice. My viewers are super chill. I mean, they kind of have to be to be around me. So yeah, it's always been really lovely vibes. Honestly, I greatly enjoy hanging out with the viewers when I can.
That's awesome. So you actually hosted meetups in other cities. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, do you like the great turnout? Like, what cities have you gone to? Like, just around Canada or anywhere in the US?
I mean, when I first went to Denver, that was to meet up with one of my moderators at the time and meet them and go to a couple shows with them, which was quite nice. It was just them and me, and that was very, very nice and very fun and very chill. And then last year I went to Chicago for a couple weeks, and there I was meeting up with another moderator and then a bunch of viewers, like 2, 3, 4, like not many, not like I'm not like bringing a drove of people to Denny's, but you know, just people who I you know, either met in passing at TwitchCon or something like that, but just, you know, never really got to chat to. And you know, we went to like a jam and got pierogies and shit like that, and it was just a sweet little time with some people that I wouldn't normally like even like know. So it's really special. There's some people locally who come to my shows pretty regularly, because I do play shows pretty regularly, which is also nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, like that'd be awesome to go to one of your live shows, like outside of a Twitch event. So I wanted to ask you, like, this is a question I never asked any of my guests ever, is picking a moderator. What is your criteria for picking a mod?
I mean, I've done a thing where I get people to fill out forms and then I pick them from that before. But honestly, for me, it's when I'm in over my head and there's nobody else there except for these few core viewers. Like, you know, there's other people there, but they're like, you know, I need help. And there's my few core viewers there, and they know the commands, or they know stuff like that, and I see them in chat often, and they're welcoming to new people and all that kind of shit. When I need another moderator, they're the first people I ask. And sometimes they say, nah, that sounds like a little much for me. And I say, absolutely. That's all good. Thank you for being here. You want a little VIP badge or some bullshit. But honestly, it's just sort of like viewers who go the extra mile. It's that's really as deep as it is. And honestly, my moderators, I try to make sure that they know that this is an optional position. It is unpaid. So whenever they feel like they are in over their heads or have something that's higher priority or anything like that, I'm like, dude, go do it. Don't feel like this has to be anywhere near your highest priority. Go live your life. So I have lots of retirees who I love, and we have a little retiree chat, and we all hang out there
Retirees.
sometimes. yeah, the ones that didn't make it out of the basement, bless their hearts. You know, it's for people who, you know, moderated for a bit, but they got other things going on in their life, and they don't want to feel obligated, and that's fine too. So yeah, right now my stream is pretty chill, so I don't really need to worry about new moderators anytime soon. But that's how I pick them, and I talk to the other mods too. I'm like, what do you think of this person? Do you think you'll get along with them? And then, you know, we go from there.
It's good. It sounds like you're very interactive and hands-on with your process of picking mods. That's awesome. Like you pick sounds like you pick like the frequenters, like the people that show up all the time and seem to know what they're doing. It's like I used to be one of those people, like would kind of stick around. It's like, it's like, hey, do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? It's like, I don't like to ask directly if I could be a mod, of course. That's like, you know, not ethical. It's unethical. So like for someone
Mod
like,
me, please. Mod me, please. I just showed up in the chat. Mod me, please.
have you gotten that before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. It's
And
like,
you know what? For shits and giggles once, I did do it.
Oh my God. Wait, what did they do? Did they mess anything up?
I was like, they were like, mod me, please. Mod me, please. Please, ma'am, mod me. And I was like, mods don't kill me for this. And then I was like, okay, now everybody hold on to the ban button. Hold on to the ban button. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready? And my mods were like, Julie, no! You stupid idiot! What the fuck is... They did nothing. I unmodded them. They, like, panicked. Thank God.
They probably didn't expect that. They're like, wait a minute, what?
Like, exactly. I was like, what'll happen? What's the worst that can happen? They ban everybody? I can fix that. It'll take a while, but I can fix it.
Mm-hmm. Oh
know?
my God. Wow. That's awesome. You actually did that. Well, at least you were prepared. You did it prepared. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, are they still a mod today? Like, did they pass the test, like, right when you did that? Okay. Gotcha.
No, basically, I was like, do something.
Mm-hmm.
Do something. You won't. And then they just were like, you're right. And I was like, of course I was. And then I unmodded them, and I was like, go take a lap, timed them out for 90 seconds, you know, make them take a lap and then come back.
There you go. If they came back,
Yeah.
they're the real thing. Is that person still around?
I don't know. I it's been a long time since that one. That was one that the mods were like, Julie, no more of this bullshit. And I was like, listen, gotta keep you on your toes a little bit.
So I wanted to touch base a little bit on your band Shy Friend.
Yeah, Shy Friend is my project that I'm working on. It is sort of alt pop is the overarching genre, but it's basically a mix of indie rock and girly pop is sort of what I would call it. It started, I started putting out music for it about a year and a half ago now. April of 2023 was my first single that I dropped with this project, and it was completely solo back then. I had been doing music on Twitch, showing people my original music. They liked it, and liked it so much that they were like, how do we fundraise towards actually getting this shit out there? So I put a Home Depot bucket in my seat for 3 days, and they filled it with money, which was very kind of them. And after that, I spent a week at an abandoned church in the middle of nowhere, recording an album with a couple of friends, one a recording engineer and one a bassist. And I produced the entire thing myself. I wrote everything. I recorded it all. And it was an interesting process, definitely. So I put out my first single called FOMO about a year and a half ago, with a whole music video and everything, and the imposter syndrome killed me. So after that, it was a very scary process to keep going. I dropped my full album August of last year, and since then, for the album release party, I realized that this is not necessarily the type of music that you can just play solo and get the idea across. So I had already been working with some people from my university in like a jazz band. Basically, I was like, it was my first time doing any front person stuff, doing little jazz songs and stuff like that. And we wrote a couple originals. So I reached out to them and a couple of the other people that I knew from the college or around the college, and asked them to make a little band for an album release show. And so we practiced for a couple months beforehand. We did the album release show. We were great. Nobody showed up, but we were great. And so after that point, I sort of had a moment of, this was way more fun than performing usually is for me. Usually when I perform, I'm stressed about messing up the whole time, and having all eyes on me at all times is very scary. So I basically talked to everybody in the band and I said, do you guys maybe want to do this again sometime? Can we maybe do this more often, perhaps? And they were all down, and we some people were like, not really my thing, so we got other people to fill in for that and stuff like that. And since then, so about a year it's been about a year since I started working with the band. We've mostly been doing shows as a group. I still do a lot of solo shows, just when either the pay isn't quite fair enough to offer it to everybody, or if it's out of town, or if it's a songwriter show or some shit like that. But so Shy Friend is technically like, that's me, but also everybody in the band is also a Shy Friend. But yeah. Yeah,
Is
so
that where
we've been playing shows since.
So is that where the name kind of derived from, because of your personalities, or like?
I mean, I had been doing streaming under JulieGoLive for a very long time, and when I first started putting out music, I didn't want people to not be able to find it, so I put it under JulieGoLive, which is in fact my full legal name.
Oh, you heard it here,
So-
folks.
Yeah, no, to fucking people know. And it gave me ick. It gave me ick very quickly to have my full legal name be what people refer to me as when they don't know me. When they don't know me even a little bit. So this ick kept growing in the first 6 months of putting out music, that just something didn't feel right. I never put my name on any of my artwork for my music or anything like that. I didn't like it. And in the back of my brain, I kept being like, I should fix this, but to what? People have been calling me Jub for a while, so I started looking at changing my Twitch name, and they wouldn't give me Jub, but they gave me Jubs, so I'll be a plural. And once I sort of got that nailed down, I was like, okay, we should change the project name too then, because why not? So I started hunting down names, and Jub and Jubs were already taken on Spotify, so I was like, maybe not those. So instead, I decided to start looking at other names, and Human Zoo was option number 2. But Shy Friend, I wrote it down. I liked how it sounded. I liked how it felt. I liked how it fit me. And the music that I was making, because the music I was making is very honest and very raw, which is sort of something that shy people do. I think I'm very shy when I'm around new people as well. So whenever I'd play shows and stuff like that, I didn't talk very much. I'm very standoffish because I have crippling social anxiety.
Same.
And I was and I was also thinking of the band I was working with at the time, and yeah, everybody was very quiet, very demure, very mindful. They were all very chill, quiet people, and I was like, Shy Friend feels right. Googled it, nothing came up. I was like, I'm taking it before somebody else does, because this is too good to just let it slide. So yeah, I found it fit, and I said, okay, this is gonna be a hard pivot. And I talked to some professionals, and I was like, I'm changing my whole name and brand, and they were like, don't fucking do that. And I was like, I don't care, I'm doing it anyways, and I'm glad I did.
Why not change it? I mean, like it.
Because it's your brand. Who's gonna find you then? And that was an issue, especially on Twitch. When I first changed my name, oh my god, nobody knew who I was. It was like 3-4 months of like nobody knew who the fuck I was. With music, it was the same thing. Nobody knew where I went. Where did I go? So it was a lot of rebuilding. Oh yeah. But worth it. I mean, I think overall, I'm just way more comfortable and confident when I don't have my full legal name in front of my face every single time that it's out there. It makes it a lot more comfortable IRL, because then when people talk to me, depending on what name they call me, I know where they know me from. So I don't have to do the awkward, do I know you? Do I don't? It's none of that shit anymore, which is nice. And yeah, that's where the name came from. It fit, and I kept it.
Oh, okay, awesome. So yeah, honestly, I love the name Shy Friend. It sounds very down to earth and like very indie. Your guys' sound reminds me a lot of like the Summer Twins and Dum Dum Girls and like First Aid Kit, like really soft indie pop. Like that was really popular in the early 2010s. Like I don't know if you were into the indie rock scene at the time. Did that derive from that at all?
I guess kind of. A lot of the stuff that I listened to was stuff like, well, I still listen to is stuff like Half Alive is one of my favorite bands, and they do like indie pop. And I really like Rex Orange County and Leanne La Havas, of course, and Hosier and stuff like that. And that was sort of like when I saw that Shy Friend felt a lot like how Half Alive felt, I was like, yeah, no, that's good then. That's good. That'll work just fine. You know, stuff like Arctic Monkeys too. I was like,
Yeah.
it's 2 words. It's 2 words. I gotta be 2 words, man. So
Very unique.
I found
definitely.
2 words that are both 2 syllables, so I was very happy, or 1 syllable each. I was very happy about that. So
So what about collaborations?
I've done quite a few collaborations. The first one I did was with Benevolent Dick was his name. He goes by a different name on Twitch now, and it's something to do with cats. I think it's like Cat Rescue or something, because he had to change his name because apparently you're not allowed to call yourself Benevolent Dick on Twitch, even though that's his fucking name is Benedict. Whatever. I'm not mad. I'm not salty at all. He was a drummer. Friends with Existence 130, who was one of the first like people who I talked to on Twitch. And he's still one of my good friends. So we did an April Fool's stream where he dressed up as me and I dressed up as him, and we gave each other our stream keys and we pretended to be each other, which was fucking awesome. I got like a toy drum kit and I set it down on my desk and I just kept on talking about freeform jazz and swearing and burping and hitting the drums just terribly. And he just kept going, I'm JulieGoLive, I'm JulieGoLive, and like playing with his wig. It was perfect. It was great.
That's awesome.
I've had Mirabelle Jean on my stream. I've had Maria on my stream, Maria the Bean. I did, and those were like, you know, we'd play a few songs back and forth, and then we'd chat, blah blah blah. It was kind of like free form interview type thing. I did a stream with Sharp Balloons. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They do balloon art on Twitch.
Oh yes,
I love
yeah.
it.
I've
I
seen them do
love
that.
it. So I was like, girl, please show me how to do that. And she's like, bet. Give me a time, give me a day. And I showed up in full clown makeup.
Oh really?
And she gave me, and it was like really bad clown makeup too, so it was peeling off the whole time. Like it was fucking terrifying. That was one of the freakiest streams I've had. So I've done stuff like that. I'm part of a team called the Content Thieves. So we do collaborations with a bunch of other variety/chatting streamers is all of us. And so like Capri Sun Pappy and Game Pass Dad and Raffle Ticket and fucking, you know, lots of guys. I'm missing all the names, but all of them are really cool, and the girlies too. Love them all. So yeah, I've done a lot of collabs. I've really enjoyed all of them. They've been a delight. It's just a lot of work, so I don't do them too often anymore, but I want to.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're like one of the social butterflies on Twitch that likes to go around and collaborate. I love seeing 2 streamers collaborate. That's super cool. I wish it happened more often. Like, were you part of the Twitch collective, like when they were doing that program?
I never got in on that. I wanted to.
Oh no.
But I haven't been a part of really any of those programs. I did do there's like a songwriter collab thing, Collab-a-Majig, I think it's called, where I did I wrote a song with another Twitch streamer named Hameda, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. It was for Valentine's Day, so it was love themed, which was great.
Can you tell us about Maria? Like, how did you meet?
So Maria, we met when I was first starting college, when I had just found out that I couldn't be a violinist, and it was a really hard time for me. And basically, while I was trying to figure out what to do, they were like, they're doing a vocal master class. This is sort of a good example of who all is in the vocal program. This is a good example of how the teachers work and what you'd be working on. You should go sit in on it and figure it out. And as someone with severe social anxiety, that was the scariest concept I could think of. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do this, but I'll do it. And if I am freaked out, I will leave. So I step into the creepy, big, scary hall. And there's like 10 other people there, and they all know each other. And I walk in and I'm like, I'm going to fucking die now. And Maria was like, hey, come sit over here. Come sit over here. So I sat down with her and we watched the vocal master class. And afterwards we talked. And she was really nice. And she had been in the program for a while, and she told me all about it and what she liked about it and what it would be like. And she convinced me. She convinced me that I'd be okay, in it. I didn't think that I was gonna, thrive. I didn't think that this was going to be where I become an opera singer, but I thought I could get a lot out of it. And so we started talking, and we were in a lot of classes together, and she was also a composition major. So we talked a lot about writing, and we were in a lot of the same creative classes together, which meant we were working together on weird stuff a lot together. 'Cause she was quirky, and I was too. So we kind of immediately kind of hit it off in that way, where we both were just a little. There was one screw loose on each of us, so we got fast friends in that way. And yeah, I watched her sort of flourish in this university environment, working on such cool, fun, quirky music that was very theatrical without being musically, and very florid and beautiful stuff. I just really enjoyed what she did, so I was also just a fan of what she was working on. When pandemic hit, all my relationships kind of went to shit. I wasn't talking to anybody. I was cut off, but Maria was posting on TikTok all the time, and that was a way to stay connected with her, is that she would post on TikTok and I'd comment, and I'd post on TikTok and she'd comment, and so we actually just kept some sort of line of communication during that, which was more than I can say for most of my relationships, which sucks, but it was the same for everybody, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and when I started working on this whole album project and wanting to perform it live, I needed backup singers desperately, and she was the best person I could think of. And I was like, do you know how to play piano? And she's like, yes. And I was like, fucking good. I'm going to stick you behind a keyboard. I'm going to give you a mic, and we're going to figure this out. And she was just picked up everything so quickly, so easily, so effortlessly. And yeah, we went to a lot of jams together, and I watched her play her music, and we talked about her music. And she started streaming, and so we'd hang out in her streams as well. And yeah, we just are fast friends. It was great.
That's awesome. Did you get her into streaming?
I think maybe. I don't want to take that. I don't want to take that from her. She might have just figured that out of her own volition, but I think I helped her out a little bit with getting it started.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. No.
That's awesome. She always speaks fondly of you every time we talk. So yeah, that's great that
that's
you
so
guys.
Cringe.
Isn't it? It's funny because I see you guys from what I know of you, you seem almost polar opposite, because she's such a sweetheart, isn't she? So
She really is.
and you're more out there, while she's a little more like, oh, hello, Julie. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing okay. Is that a good impression of her? I don't know.
She's in the room with us.
She is?
That was crazy. Was that dubbed? That was awesome.
Oh, wait. Oh,
like
wait. Thank you, Julie. Thank you very much. Yeah. I don't know. She's so proper with her vocabulary. It's I don't know. Is that a French Canadian thing or something? I don't know. But
I think she just thinks before she speaks, which is great.
that's
I'm
something
really glad that somebody does.
Exactly. A lot of people don't do that. Me too. I'm not exactly that kind of guy sometimes. It's hard to It's hard to articulate sometimes. That's one reason why I do this show, is to kind of break out of that social anxiety shell and learn to articulate better. So, and it's helped a lot. And it's just so cool just hanging out with all you awesome streamers and super talented people. Gosh, I feel so privileged. Anyway,
I do hope, if everything goes well, in the next year, probably 6 months, I'm hoping to put out an EP, a little EP. Honk shoe me, a little EP. And after that, it'll be probably a full length, a proper full length. But
sweet.
I've been putting out a lot of singles lately, and they all kind of have the same vibe. And it's not necessarily the vibe that I'm going to be doing for forever. So I want to sort of make an EP that kind of caps all of that off, of this really borderline aggressive, bitchy rock music that I've been making. It's really fun, and I really enjoy it. I don't know if it's a forever fits me type thing. I've been writing a lot of more laid back pop as well, which I'm holding off, because I know that this sort of form that I'm making, it's since I got a band, honestly. Since I've been working with this band, I've been working on way more rock, aggressive, really borderline punk stuff, just because it's fucking fun to play is why,
is.
to be honest. It's a hoot to be able to have a concert where I can jump off the stage, push around the audience, yell in people's faces, and then get up there and be a girl, you know? It's so fun. So I've been writing a lot of music that fits in that sort of vibe for me because I just enjoy doing that. So that's sort of what the next EP would be a lot of like alt rock mixed with girly pop, which is what we're kind of leaning into now.
I'm down for that. I love alt rock punk. I'm a pop punk kid growing up, you know, so that's totally my jam right there. I can't wait for that.
I hope you're
man.
excited for the next song then, because we have one coming out on September 6th, and it's probably the silliest one that we've made. It's called Girlhood, and I could even like play it for you today if you want it.
Yeah,
I
if you
don't
could
really know.
throw that
But
in your
it's
set.
real silly. The cover art is the theme was a princess committing credit card fraud. So I dressed up as a princess and I made fake credit cards for all the band members, and I got a little laptop, bedazzled it, and I was smoking fake cigarettes. So
Interesting.
that's the vibe, and the music is very much that vibe. So I'm so excited for that song to come out because it's just so fun.
An evolution of JUBS. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing like artists like evolve a little bit. So that's I look forward to that for sure. When you're performing on stage, like there are some streamers that do and don't. So for you, you started up on stage, right? So what's it like for you on stream versus up on stage? Like, is there a difference? Like you said that before, that you kind of like when you're playing solo on stage, you're worried about messing up so badly because it's just you up there, versus the band, you can kind of like miss a note here and there. But like, so what is it like for you, stage versus stream?
On stream is sort of where I perform most. You know, I perform on Twitch music. I used to do it 3 times a week, just music. Now it's like once a week I'll have a little concert, and then sometimes at the end of streams, if I'm feeling a little sentimental, then I'll play a few tunes, you know, just for shits and giggles. But what's nice about streaming music, playing music and streaming, is I can have the lyrics right there. I can have the chords right there. I don't have to worry about memorizing a damn thing. Also, if I get bored, I can look over here and read chat the whole time. And my chat, if you haven't been there, you don't know, it's fucking chaos. So it's really quite entertaining. It's a very good time for me. So it's kind of more of a practice thing for me on stream, where I don't have to worry about being too great because, you know, it's live. Nobody's gonna shoot me if I don't get it all correct. And I can also just spend it being silly. I also have my whole live looping set up here, which is not something I like to bring out to concerts because it's bulky and awful, and if I put the wrong chord in the wrong place, I'd cry. So it stays here now. But it's really fun to play on stream, just to play like some really fun vibey stuff. You know, I could make one loop last for 30 fucking minutes if I wanted to. And I have all my stuff here. You know, I got all my little shaker and my little tambourine and my little fucking, my kazoo and shit like that. You know, like if I want a vibe, I can make it happen here. And that is so fun. I am limited to the fact that I am a solo artist, though, who has very limited knowledge of DAWs. So there is only so much that I can do before hitting the headroom. And also I have neighbors. So I can't really fully send most of the time on stream, especially since I'm a late night streamer. It's like I don't want my neighbors to hate me that much. So it's very fun, and it's very chill, and it's very casual on stream compared to live. Whereas live, like in concert stuff, I really love to feed off of the energy of the crowd. And if the crowd is giving me no energy, then I will force it into them. I love having a band to work off of with energy as well, so that, you know, if I need to take a drink of water or, you know, cough for 30 seconds straight, there can be something else to fill that void for people, so I don't have to feel like I'm getting stared at the whole time. I also just love dressing up for concerts. I love having themes for my shows and going thrifting for outfits for it. And having like silly little bits that we do live, like Maria and I have like this whole argument we have on stage about whose phone is ringing and bullshit like that. and just having like it be a little more theatrical in person is super fun. And it's also just a great place to let it all out. You know, people are there to actually hear that, so I don't have to worry about being too loud or being too obnoxious or feeling too hard. It's why people are there. And especially now that I have a band, I have the confidence to do that. When I was solo, I didn't feel confident doing that even on stage.
Right.
So now it's like, oh, I feel like this is where I can thrive, being 100% authentic and real with the music that I make.
Awesome. So it's like you use it as like a musical outlet, like an artistic outlet
yeah.
to also let out any aggression going on in your mind. Like,
Yeah.
so I noticed you kind of incorporate some of Maria's like acting experience like in with your show a little bit, so you can kind of play off of each other. Like, I would love to see that. Do you have any videos of you guys doing that, like, at all?
Yeah, I think on my Instagram I have a fair few. But
Okay.
yeah, we do it at every show. Like the last show that I played, actually, I had to do it solo because we couldn't get the band up. But Maria was there. So Maria was in fact my hype man in the crowd, where she like was still yelling along to everything, and like I was getting in everybody's faces, and she was like, "Yeah," and shit like that. Like she's like such a perfect hype man as well for a show, even if we're not, you know, playing together, which is great for confidence.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, no, we love a silly little bit. We stan a silly little bit in the Shy Friend household. It's great.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, I would love to see a full Shy Friends set sometime. Like, do you plan on streaming that or?
We do every now and then. Whenever we're headlining shows, we try to make sure that we can live stream them as well.
Okay.
Just so, especially since there's a couple venues locally that we sell out too damn quickly, and it's like, oh, if there's people waiting outside for the show, I make sure that there's a link to the live stream so that they can actually watch the show while waiting to get in.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
You guys sell out venues?
every now and then.
Okay, you're going to get the attention of a lot of labels here for that. 21 Pilots did that. They sold out a whole theater. They were unsigned, and then they got the attention of Warner Brothers and Atlantic and stuff. So, hey,
Yeah, I mean,
never know.
I've been in talks.
In talks, you
chatting.
say?
Been
Please share with
chatting.
us. Please share with us.
Oh, you want to know the tea?
Yes.
I've had some meetings with some rather large labels,
Really?
where it was just talking. You know, we didn't really have any plans to make anything happen, but just getting on the radars of some of these A&R people and all that has been good. I've been in more serious talks with some smaller independent labels because that's just a little more my vibe. A lot of the times I'm friends with a lot of people who work for larger labels, and I know a couple people who are also signed to them or have been signed in the past. And as much good as there is, there's also things that I don't think fit with me at my current place. What I really need from an external source is like actual hands. I need more hands. I need someone to help out with like booking things, with communication, with contracts, with fucking like all that kind of bullshit, and like actually, you know, organizing things a little bit more, you know. Would it be nice to be able to have like an actual studio to work out of? Yeah, that would be pretty good. Or having, you know, the money to actually afford to do it more. That would also be nice. I'm tired of sucking my Twitch stream dry, and not in the fun way. It's like I feel bad for doing that, you know? I feel bad for fundraising all the time just for music when it's like I want this to be something that is accessible to people. Yeah. So I've been trying to, you know, see if something might be able to come of that, but I'm also trying to do it fairly and ethically and make sure that I'm protecting my ass. So it's been a very slow process for me, but a very good one. I have a lot of people in my court, and the conversations I have been having lately have been very, very hopeful. So
Awesome. Wow.
we will see. I'm not gonna get signed to fucking Warner, don't worry. I don't think that would be a good idea for me right now. But I think I'm really trying to get that support system however I can. Right now, and
That's awesome.
hopeful. It's hopeful.
Wow. Best of luck to you there. Like, hope you find like the right label that will kind of see your vision. Because that's the thing with labels. Like they like to change you. They like to have control over you usually. But like the smaller independent ones, I think would, like I said, more your vibe. Like it's a little more creative control. You want the creative freedom, right?
I wanna at least be able to have conversations with the people I'm working with, you
Yes.
know, and actually figure out what their priorities are,
Mhm.
and before I sign any pieces of paper, you know, so that then even if they want to have more creative control, that it's something that I'm down for,
Yeah.
that it's something that I'm excited to have them on board of the team, not just someone who is manhandling this whole situation into something that they like, but something that they like this idea. I like that idea too. Let's work together on it. You know,
Right.
it's less that I'm worried about someone taking creative control, because I'm not going to agree to anything like that.
Right.
It's more that I want to make sure that whoever I'm working with, I'm happy with.
Definitely. That's good. That's good. You know, it sounds like you know what you want, which is great. Because like some people just
Yes.
sign their life away, you know, and then it just kills their career. Paramore. Anyway, let's not get into that wormhole. Great band. Don't get me wrong, but they're a whole like prime
I feel
example.
bad for anybody, yeah, who has
Yeah.
to go through all that bullshit. There's been enough sad stories. I do not want to be one of them, and I'm trying very hard to not be.
That's good. It's like you learn from them, right? That's great. Life outside of Twitch. What do you like to do like when you're not streaming? Like what does JUBS like to do for fun?
Here's the thing. I am self-employed through and through. When I am not live, I am working. And it
Really?
fucking sucks. That's why I want a team. Is because when I'm not live, I'm answering emails. I'm making demos. I'm working on editing content for other social medias. I'm talking with other artists and trying to line things up. I'm booking things. I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to organize rehearsals. I'm trying to, you know, get things help out other people who are trying to get to where I'm at too, and stuff like that. And then I also have a job on top of that to afford to live. So I don't really have time for a lot of hobbies. When I do have time, every now and then, I honestly spend a lot of it writing, not just music, but like poetry, and I do a lot of little art, little doodles, stuff like that. Like this is old merch. This is an old design of mine. It's a lizard gun. It's a
Oh.
gun that's also a lizard. Yeah,
That is
check it.
awesome.
It's fucking. I love making shit like this. I think it's so fun and so unserious. So I like still having some sort of creative process, even if it's not necessarily music. I love working on short films. I like, you know, not necessarily being in them. I've been like background in one thing once, but you know, just being able to help out and support other people's projects has been really exciting too. I don't game. I play
No?
Minecraft. That's pretty much as far as my gaming goes, but I do like to I don't know. I like to talk to people, get some inspiration that way, and feel like I'm growing as a person in socially as well. I'm trying to beat social anxiety, if that's even possible. Making every step I can to make that happen. And it's gone better than I expected, so
Wow. So it sounds like you're just a working girl. Like you're just constantly on the go, constantly at the grind. To say that's awesome. You know, hard work pays off. Definitely. Like I'm pretty
fucking
sure.
hope it does. I hope it does, because this is a lot. You know what though? Everything's rewarding. You know,
Yes.
there's not a lot of this stuff where I'm like getting nothing out of this. This is stupid. I don't ever, you know, look back and be like, man, I wish I hadn't worked that hard. However, it is exhausting mentally.
Oh, yeah,
it
totally.
fucking sucks. But it's what I want. It's what I want to do, and I want to do it safely and not hurting anybody else. I want to do it ethically, you know?
Exactly.
So this is my way of being ethical about the creative journey I want to take. Yeah.
Exactly. You're focused, you're consistent, and the consistency is key. You know, that's awesome. It sounds
Keep
like
that Sigma grind set. Eye on the
Exactly.
bag.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Guys, take note. She's really good at this. I'm drawing inspiration from you just by talking to you right now. This is great.
Thank you. Please don't work as hard as I do. It's probably not worth it. I'm going to be honest.
Right, you'll never know. Like hard work will pay off one way or another, versus whether you blow up or it's something you learn, you know, or you realize it'll take you into another direction in life. You never know. Like this show, like this show is a lot of work. I'm the only one doing anything on here, booking people, and it's stressful. And aside from that, I love doing this. I love sitting down and talking with people, getting to know them. Normally I have friends on here that I've known for a while, but since you're fairly new, I've been strategically and willingly going to your streams often the last couple weeks or last month or so since I followed you. And I was like, I'm always kind of low key on the lookout for other guests. So when Maria told me about you and I saw your actually hung out on your stream, I was like, I think you should make a good guest. Maybe we'll see how she's like. And then when you came in that one time, and you're like, I would like to be on. It's like, maybe. Like you expressed interest a little bit. It seemed like. So I was like, good, I got her, and she got me too. So it's like we got each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, hell yeah.
Wow. So you're on the grind. You're working hard. You're busting your ass on this whole thing, and like so, I really see you going up. Because you're already climbing. You're already doing all the right stuff. So keep it up. Just keep it up. Just keep going. So
It's
really,
hard to see, but thank you.
and hey, no problem. You never know. Like, I mean, you see all these other big artists where they started, and like, it's like, wow, they were just nobody. Like Lady Gaga, she had a band too that named after her. She was dancing around in her lingerie underwear and like strip clubs and stuff. And now look at her.
Now she's doing that, but in bigger rooms, and I love her for it.
Exactly. She's fucking queen. Like, I wish you went to her jazz and piano show in Vegas.
That would have been a dream.
Beautiful.
It wasn't on when I was there, but God, that was a dream. I loved her and Tony Bennett when they did those couple albums together. I like threw up crying. It was so good.
She's like the last great jazz artist, like low key jazz.
That's not true. That's
One of
not
them.
true. You don't know Loewe. Do you know Loewe?
No.
Laufey. You should listen to her. She does
Okay.
jazz, and she is Icelandic, and she is gorgeous. You'll love her.
Check her out. I love jazz.
Her and Namdi. Go listen to Namdi if you want some freaky shit too. Nnamdi. Namdi.
Got it. Namdi. Yes, music share, please. Anyone you recommend, I will definitely check out. But yeah, it's like you just see where they start and like how big they are. Like Katy Perry, she was just her and her guitar, just like you, just playing at venues, and no one knew who she was. And now she's kissing girls and liking it. So
And I wish that was me. God, I fucking wish that was me.
it will be. You'll be
God,
having.
it's gonna be me.
You'll be the next
I'm gonna
Katy
be
Perry.
kissing so many. No, I don't want that. But I
No?
will be kissing girls. I want that part, not the rest.
Gotcha. So you'll be all the girls will be all over you. Are they kind of like waiting outside of your tour van nowadays, like wanting
They're
some of
like
that JUBS?
piling up at this point. It's like I'm like worried about crowding and stuff like that. They've started like doing like human pyramids outside of my house so that I can't avoid them. It's like kind of fucking terrifying at this point, but
Gotcha. Wow.
price you pay.
Exactly. You're blowing up. You got this. You play Minecraft, but what is up with this truck game? Can you tell me about this?
Simulator. It's exactly what you think it is. It is boring. There is nothing you do in it. But you know what? I have a thrust master. I point down and I say I have a thrust master, and you're gonna think it's something else. Let me grab it.
Okay.
It's not a dildo, but it does vibrate. It's a wheel. It's a
Oh my.
It's a wheel. It's not a vibrate. It does vibrate. That's not its main. You don't. It's. Anyways.
And you put this on your lap?
No. I strap it. I clamp it onto my desk, and then I have pedals at my feet as well. And so I don't do this often because it is not a good idea to do often. But I play the truck driving simulator, and then I talk to Chad on the CB radio, and we listen to old country music. And then every time I hit something, I take a drink.
Oh.
Because it helps me focus, and it evolves very quickly. So it's not something I do too often, but when I do, bro, sometimes we make it to the destination. Sometimes we do.
So are you just driving in one linear path, like, or is there like twists and turns at all? Like any?
Quite literally, it is like a shot for shot of like the Californian highways. It is there is nothing special. I do quick jobs where I get my cargo, which is usually just like some fucking semi truck shit. But they call it like TNT or dynamite or like a backhoe or something funny, and I'm like, I want the backhoe or whatever. And then you drive for like 20 minutes straight, and then you go to your destination and you drop off your cargo and you make in game currency, and then the cycle can. That's all it is. It is quite literally the most boring bullshit ever, and that's why I love it. It's a place to thrive in just the chaos.
Oh my God, it sounds like one of those really, really slice of life, repetitive games that are just what the fuck is this thing here?
It's a
Wow.
simulator game, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you can imagine how
funny.
it would be if there was a real truck driver with a live chat
Yeah.
egging them on, you know. So it's fun to simulate, especially the drinking simulating. I think is hilarious. IRL, of course, fucking don't do that.
Well, of
I don't
course.
know if I have to say that, but don't fucking do that. But in a video game, it's funny as hell. So I throw on my little truck driving hat and I get in character. It's good. Good.
So you really get into it. So if you were really a truck driver, would you live stream? Like just
Okay, I have had to do a couple really long road trips, like back and forth often, and sometimes I do live stream them. I
Really?
will be honest.
Okay.
I'll just like set up my phone on the dash and I won't touch it. I won't even look at it, but a chat can like send me money for text to speech or use their channel points or whatever. And I turn on Mario Kart music. And
Oh.
you know what? You know what?
Oh.
It's you'd think, right? But it's actually not that bad because it holds me accountable to be a safe driver, to be a vigilant driver, and also to just keep me entertained for a little bit while I have to drive on these boring ass roads. So it's been helpful in that way, as long as I do it safely,
There you go. It helps the trip go by a lot faster because road trips, they can sometimes be a drag, like when you got nothing like really catching your attention, when you're just paying attention on the road,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I have like this little challenge
Yeah.
whenever I'm streaming and driving,
Yeah.
where whenever I pass a truck, I have to try to make them honk.
Oh,
And
you
we
do
count
that?
how many honks we can. Oh, on stream, yes. Alone, God no. But with other people, it's fun.
Oh man, that is awesome. So as travels, that's another thing I want to ask you about. So you've done road trips, like have you been all over Canada? Have you been like, no? Okay.
I've been to Vancouver and Toronto.
Mm.
I have been to Manitoba and Saskatchewan,
Mm.
and that is it. I would like to go further out east to like New Brunswick or even Newfoundland or some shit like that. That'd be cool. I'd love to come to Quebec sometime because my favorite jazz musician is from there. And I want to go see the fucking jazz over there.
Nice.
And I don't necessarily think that Alberta is my forever home either. I think Canada is. I don't think Alberta is. So I'd love to be able to do that, but it's kind of expensive to live anywhere right now. So
Oh,
I'm pretty
really?
I'm pretty content with my current situation as far as what is possible. So, yeah.
So you want so the Canadian lifestyle, would you say it's hockey, maple syrup? No.
Yeah, how did you know? That's crazy. No, it's like America but chiller.
Yeah.
It's just it's like relaxed, nicer America. It's all it is. It's quite I prefer it, at least to my experience in America. I haven't spent more than a couple weeks there at a time, but it's just less intense. It's a lot calmer, and I much prefer it to that. However, I would love to spend like 6 months to a year living in America, just for industry and just for the friends that I've made and all that, and just the ease of access to things. But
Yeah.
not forever.
For sure, no. It sounds like you found your home. Yeah, that's awesome. So like I mean, I was just like saying like Canada. Whenever I think of Canada, I think about Tim Hortons and like what else? Poutine. Like, are you into either of those at all?
Well, I don't drink coffee, so that
Right.
kind of doesn't help with the Timmy's thing. And their donuts suck.
You don't like the donuts?
So,
Yeah.
dude, they used to bake them. Now they're just frozen that
Oh,
they just
really?
ship in. It's fucking. What's the point? I'd rather just go to a local donut shop that has better stuff, and I don't even like donuts that much. So like, what the fuck ever. Poutine is nice every now and then, but it sits like a goddamn brick in your stomach. So you gotta kind of be prepared for that.
Yeah.
You know what? Here has really good sushi. I've found is Canada's like it. Is that we have some of the best like Korean food, and some of my favorite sushi I've ever had has been in Canada. So especially my city has really good Korean food. So I love that. That's what I like about Canada, and it's nice to have that here, which is really nice.
Yeah, it was surprising. Like in Toronto and Ontario, there's like a couple places there with really good Asian food. It's like non-Canadian food. And there's also
yeah.
there's also a chain called Nando's and Swiss Chalet. Do you guys have that there too?
we do. Of course we do, man. Of
Yeah,
course we do.
so good.
My mom loves Swiss chalet. My mom loves Swiss chalet. Nando's
Mm-hmm.
is. I've never had good Nando's, but I'm sure that good Nando's is good. I just haven't had
Mm.
good Nando's.
Gotcha. And going to Superstore, like using Roger's cell phones, like usually all the usual Canadian stuff seems like. But you're not into hockey at all. You're not a sporty girl at all. No.
No, it's fun to hear about all the drama, but it's just not really my thing. I don't really have the energy for it to start fighting for a team that I know nothing about. Not yet.
Gotcha.
Give me a few years. I'll chill out and then maybe.
No problem. Yeah. No, same. I was like not a sporty person at all until I found like a good team, a player that you develop a crush on, and then you follow their team, and then you, like if you're into women, right? So it's like the WNBA right now is really on fire right now. So,
Yeah, I've seen some
Yeah.
drama on TikTok. I've been pretty. This piques my interest, but I'm also like, I don't have time. I don't have time to get into this right now. I got too much other bullshit taking up my emotions. I'm not gonna spend more on beautiful women in sports as much as the Olympics tried to rock me that way. They didn't.
I remember
They tried.
I remember in your one of your posts on it, well, it was one of your vlogs when you were in uni. You said that I'm doing my makeup while watching women's beach volleyball or something like that. Like, and you're like, oh my god, is that
It's like I don't have cable. So it was like when we went down there, I had a television with cable on it. So and it
Oh.
was in the middle of the Olympics. So I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna put on the Olympics whenever I can because that's just super exciting. And the night before I was watching Snoop Dogg fist bumping everybody at the skateboarding thing, and I was like, oh party, this will be great energy before I get ready to perform. And it was women's beach volleyball, and I was sitting there and I was like, holy shit, it's time to be normal. It's time to be a normal human and be normal. Okay. It was great. I love women. Oh my God.
rooting for a
Don't get
team,
me wrong.
right?
Yeah, I'm not 100% gay. I'm gay from concentrate.
So you're like, are you 50-50 or are you?
I'm queer. I don't really know how far it is strictly women, but I still, it's still cute guys. They're still cute guys. It's more a personality thing than anything for me. It's,
Yeah.
so. But like I do bazoing, hummina, honk, honk, honk. That's me with women at all times. So, yeah.
Yes, see. I wanted to touch base on mental health. Earlier, you said you took a mental health course during your residency. What did they teach you there?
Well, that course was very much basically just the basics of therapy. I've been in and out of therapy since I was like 8. I've just always been in it. There's always been a few screws loose in my brain that just aren't quite lining up, or my chemistry's never been quite right. I've been diagnosed with a whole schwack of things, and some fit, some don't. It's what the fuck ever. So I've always been very much mindful of my mental health and how what I do impacts other people as well. So mental health in my music, I mean, shit, my whole first album was all about my mental health growing up as a human and, like coming into my own as someone who struggled with, relationships, myself, my own personal mental health, trauma, like all that bullshit, and I was like, let's pile all that in. Let's not talk about other people. Let's just try to deal with what I've got going on here first. So when I make music, it's like, when I talk, when I'm shooting this shit, I'm a very unserious person. I'm a very chill person. It's whatever, But I'll oftentimes where I can actually get that expression out there and is through music, and I think that's important. I also think it's important to value and respect other people's mental health and how much energy they have for what they're dealing with in their life and what they want to get out of it. So it's really important to me to be open and honest about how I'm feeling, even if I want to make an entertaining stream, If I'm not feeling it someday, but I still feel like I'd like to go live, then I will pivot what I'm doing to fit how I'm feeling, If I'm feeling sad as shit, I am not going to be driving a truck and drinking. That's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll play some chill piano shit or whatever, and I tailor that to what I like. And a lot of the times people find it to be inconsistent. A lot of, people come in and be like, I came here for the music. Why aren't you doing music? And it's like, shut the fuck up. It's my own shit. I can do whatever I want. That's kind of the point of being here. It's not just about the music. It's not just about the truck driving. It's about the people And the people who get it, and the people who don't, that's okay. It's not for them. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a huge proponent of being aware of your mental health, being kind to yourself, and being honest with other people about it, because there's so many people who have grown up in an environment where that's not a normal thing, where you feel like you have to push it down. And then, it takes people till they're way older than they should be to actually develop and feel actually happy with themselves,
Right.
or at least content with how they are in the world. And I don't ever want to be a part of that problem.
For sure. Like, you don't want people to feel insecure about themselves based on what you do, whether you make a joke about them or not. And the whole state of mental health, like it being more aware nowadays. Like, I think people need to really be in tune with themselves like that, not be afraid to express their feelings. Right. And, learn to empathize and sympathize with others, which it can be difficult, especially if you can't relate to something. Right. So, like, if someone comes into your stream and like says they have a bad day, like, do you like go out of your way kind of and ask them what's going on, or do you kind of tell them to just put it in Discord, or like, do you?
I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on the vibe. If we are in like a hype, crazy, I'm here roasting every chatter energy,
Yeah.
and someone comes in and it's like, my girlfriend just broke up with me and I'm really sad. I'm like, I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry that that's happening for you. Can I cheer you up? Can we distract you for a little bit from this bullshit that you're going through? Can I offer you a humble distraction? And if someone actually comes in and starts trauma dumping, I put that to bed. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is not the space for that. I really appreciate that you feel safe and comfortable here to be yourself, and I want you to continue to be authentic. However, I also want to make sure that this is an environment that is helpful to everybody. So
Yeah.
if you're coming in here and changing the vibe entirely to make everybody sad, I'm going to politely ask you to reach out to someone a little closer to you, a little more personal, because this is a public platform.
Exactly.
But if we're on the topic of mental health and something comes up, I'm not going to say, no, how dare you have mental health issues? That's my thing. You can't take my thing. But I try to maintain a level of levity as much as I can. If I break, I break. But it is important for me to actually make an environment where I feel happy, and the other people coming in also feel happy. I don't want to be a pity party. It's not my thing.
That's good. See, that's awesome. It sounds like you're very open. You have a very open, welcoming vibe versus there are a lot of streamers out there that, well, not a lot, but there's those few, like, I'm pretty sure you've seen them before, where they're just so cliquey. They only really care about the regulars and the people that tip a lot, but you seem like you're the opposite of that. You seem like you're a little more open and welcoming with the newbies like myself. This is really cool. It's like you acknowledge them and
Yeah, but like, I also understand where these other streamers are coming from. There's only so much emotional energy that one person has, right? And if you decide to dispel that equally amongst hundreds of people, you are going to burn out and hate it, right? So when you have that much of an overwhelming following and all that kind of stuff, I mean, you gotta save it for the people who are willing to, I guess, pay for it, like therapy, I guess, But I have a small community. It's ebbed and flowed, but right now I have a pretty small community, all things considered. I know that's like, I shouldn't be saying that because there's a lot of people who have a lot smaller communities, but it's not overwhelming for me to feel like I can at least answer every chat message. I can't give everybody an equal amount of energy, but I can at least respond. I can at least give that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, that's not what I meant exactly, but it's more like just like how you treat them. Like, I noticed that. Oh man, my computer's lagging. Sorry. It's mostly like how you treat them. So it seems like there's just those even smaller communities that will kind of like just only really focus on their core group. And like, no matter how long you've been with them, this is just my experience, but like how long you've been with them, they'll just kind of disregard you. They won't care about what you say, but they'll care about what this person says because they're a VIP or like whatever. And I've been there just as long as that other person. So it's kind of like, I can go on and on about it, but that's pretty much like what I've noticed in comparison to other streamers. I'm just saying. So, I mean, you and I just met, a couple months ago, and here we are talking already. Normally I have people on here I've known for like a year minimum. So it's like, I don't know, just your personality. I felt like this connection with your personality because I love to be like outgoing like that, like, behind a camera, of course, but, and just your energy and your vibe and just you make me laugh every time I go in your stream. So it's like, always like, it's like, I need a good laugh. I need some chaos in my life. And we got JUBS.
Me, baby.
It's like, why didn't I meet this girl sooner? God damn it. Anyway, thanks, Maria. But
Thanks, Maria. Shout out to Maria.
yes, we love Maria here. The Miarlequin. How do you say her name? Is that how you say it?
Miarlequin.
Miarlequin. I always had a problem saying
Yes.
that. Thank you.
Got you.
Yeah.
We are a Miarlequin fan account here. This is Miarlequin content only.
Yes,
Let's
definitely. So, the last question that I ask all of my guests here. Actually, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to steal something from another podcast.
My God. Don't switch it up on me, man. I'm going to freak out.
Name three. I normally ask people what is next for them, which I'll ask you as well. So, first off, what are three things that you're grateful for in your life?
I'm so grateful for. You're going to make me fucking tear up. I'm not. I'm wearing waterproof mascara. I'm good. Okay, never mind. We're fine. Sorry, I had to check. I'm really grateful for the people that give a shit. Whether that be people on the stream who tune in just to see what's up, just to hang out while they're taking a shit. I hate. No, I'm not thankful for them. Those people can go. No, actually, I'm fine. If I'm your poop content, I'm proud of that. But I'm thankful for the parasocial people who are just there as fans to intake the art. But I'm also very, 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 very thankful for the people who want to help more. The people who are in the band with me, who want to see this project flourish. For the people who are industry professionals who have experience in music in general and navigating this absolutely hellish landscape, who are willing to help me out and provide me support. And of course, just my friends who are willing to hear me and willing to talk to me, because I talk a lot. I don't know if you notice, I talk a lot. My whole job, my whole life, my whole livelihood is basically me talking at people sometimes, but oftentimes walls. So it's really nice to have people who are willing to talk to me as well. So that's very cool.
For sure.
So that's one thing.
Yes.
Another thing I'm thankful for is my ability. It's not something that I want to take for granted. I feel so lucky that I'm able to do what I do with my hands, that my voice is able to handle what I put it through. My God. I try to take care of everything that I have as much as possible, you know? The technology that I'm able to use and the way that my brain works is so exciting to me. Even though it is because I have screws loose that it works the way that it does. I'm very lucky that it's those screws that are loose and not other ones, because I feel like I can flourish in the environment that I've cultivated because of who I am. So I'm very, very thankful for my ability, the people around me, and God, I'm thankful for a lot. Don't get me wrong. I swear to God, it's not that I'm not thankful for anything. Oh, man. I am so fucking thankful that good cheeseburgers exist. Holy fuck. Oh my God. Like, when I'm, like, don't get me wrong. I don't have them often. But when I fucking need a cheeseburger, like, when I'm like, God damn it, I would commit heinous acts of violence. I can get one. You know how lucky I am for that? That's so awesome.
There's nothing like some good comfort food. McDonald's, Burger King, what do you prefer?
I don't like anything else from Wendy's other than their burgers and their salads. And, you
Chicken
know,
nuggets?
they're mid. They're mid.
Frosties? Fries?
Unless Wendy's is willing to sponsor me, in which case every single piece of their food is the best food I've ever eaten. I would eat it forever, always, if I could.
Maybe the chili with the thumb in it? Good?
Dude, little crunch. Don't mind if I do.
The horse meat that they use.
Nay, am I right? God damn.
God.
God damn.
It's like you mentioned parasocial real quick. That so really quick, you mentioned parasocial relationship. Like those people that I don't know if you ever experienced this before, but I know you said not to ask about harassment, but like I don't know if anybody in your community has ever developed that relationship where, oh, I've given you so much money, I've given you this and that, how come you won't hang out with me or whatever? Like they expect something in return from you by them being so giving. Have you ever had to experience that ever?
Been borderline. I've never had like that full where someone will send me a message and be like, I gave you $100. Where's my high? Or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
But there are times where, you know, I have to re-articulate in my tips page that tips are not an exchange for services or, you know, items or services or whatever. There are times where I have to maintain that even if you give me money, it does not make you my friend. In fact, it makes you a little further from friend. It makes you like an investor. So, you know, I do maintain that pretty hard. However, you know, if someone's willing to invest in my music, you know, like I've had people who are like, I want you to make this song, here's some money towards this song. I will try to make sure that I keep them up to date with it, you know? But I also maintain that as a professional relationship where I'm like, you gave me money towards this thing. Let's see how this goes, you know?
For sure.
And I've been very, very lucky, especially with some wonderful people who have been way too fucking generous, that they understand that boundary as well. But
good.
my mod team is also very good at stopping any sort of parasocial stuff in its tracks. They know what's up, and if anything gets out of hand and I can't handle it, they handle it very, very well.
Wow. It sounds like you've composed yourself very well. It seems like you know how to handle the situation. Seems like it's like you even sometimes you have to remind people that, hey, this is just because you did this for me doesn't mean I got to do that for you, you know. So that's good to really maintain that boundary there. So because there are a lot of people on Twitch that will go there to pay for appreciation and attention, you know, and
Wrong. And
Yeah.
if they do, I'll point that out to them. If I'm like, oh, you're giving me money because you want me to say hi to you? Okay. Hi, bozo. Thanks for the dollars, idiot. And then I move on. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'll poke fun at it. Absolutely. But I want
Yeah.
people to be aware of what they're getting into. You know? And if that's not what they're looking for, they definitely know not to come to my stream.
exactly.
They
It's like,
know. The second they come in, they know that's not the vibe.
yeah, you definitely have like that tough skin. You have that thick skin. You're definitely more thick skinned than a lot of people on here. You know, you're very thankful for the community you're able to create around yourself based on your personality. It seems like you've met a lot of like-minded people, which is always great. You know, it seems like, because there's always people out there trying to like fit in and like trying to find a place to belong. But sometimes you have to create your own, you know, and learning how to maintain that and how to keep it going when there's people looking up to you, you know, it seems like you've got that. It seems like you've got that down. You seem like a leader, you know, it seems like someone we can all cultivate around. And I myself am one of them. So thank you for that, Jubs.
So glad it looks like I know what I'm doing. I'm so glad that you can't see how hard I'm paddling under the water. That's a facade I maintain with a lot of work. So thank you.
Sure. No problem. No problem. And the last question that I always ask is, what is next for Julie? What can we expect next from you and your streams and your music?
I got a lot of music stuff coming up. I got a song coming out September 6th. The next song with Shy Friend is called Girlhood, and it's bitchy and it's silly and there's a lot of screaming and a lot of silly language in it. The first words are, my ex-man was a narcissist. It's stupid and I love it. It's goofy as all get out, so I'm really excited for that to come out. After that, I have another single coming out that I recorded over at my residency that is, I don't want to brag, but it's pretty Stevie Wondery. It's pretty fun. And that's coming out around the holidays. Expect a lot of, if you're in the Alberta area, please come out to a show. There will be one in your area. I guarantee it. So please come out to one of the shows because they're going to be pissed if you missed it. I'm going to be honest. This is one of those things where people have been sleeping on this shit for the past while, and now that they get it, oh my god, they're pissed when they miss it. So you don't want to be one of those people. For anybody who's online, who is following along with everything, there's a lot happening. there's going to be a lot more music for you, of course. There's going to be a lot more content, a couple more videos, hopefully. I'm going to keep the streaming shit up. I don't plan on slowing down with that shit anytime soon. So, you should come by my stream if you want a little bit of chaos in your day. You want a little, what the fuck, you know, before you start your meals or whatever. If you want some music, I'll be doing some tunes. You can request them. It's free. You don't have to pay a damn dime to do anything in my stream, so feel free to come out and hang out. And when I'm not doing music, I am making people uncomfortable, so come watch. Or participate if you feel like you want to be a little weirded out. So yeah, that's sort of the next while for me. I'm going to keep on my Sigma grind set. I am going to keep on making more music. I have so much stuff cooking. And I'm gonna keep on developing whatever the hell this is that I'm doing.
This little crazy world called JUBS. Dang, that's awesome.
Oh God, yeah.
You know how to market yourself. You seem really good at like selling yourself there. I really like that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, please give it up for Julie. And now, starting off with her latest music video, 2009. Take it away, Julie.
Internal fixation on your external invasion. I'm all alone. It's not my home. Waiting on another day to finish what I started all those years ago. Thought I'd grown, hang ten on this wave of panic. Some folks would call it romantic, hoping I can seem sincere behind all of this plastic. And the hanging loose of all my friends helps the panic to set in. I feel all alone, surrounded by the alerts on my phone. All my songs sound like a shitty band from 2009. I am sorry, Sloan, that I'd gone making music for my adolescent self to fall in love with. I'm behind on times, but I'm trying my best, but I can't rest till I'm satisfied. So I get this kinda and try to find a way to keep it up. Treat myself like I'm fight the urge to drop my classes, spend my extra time in practice, get diagnosed with what I'm predisposed. Never leave my house again and feel the fear kick in, and I can see the stories now. It's funny how I'm trying my best, but I can't rest till I'm satisfied. So I get this kinda and try to find a way to keep it up. Treat myself like I'm enough. Ooh, like I'm enough.
Usually I do these in a different order, but I feel like they fit together really well. This is the first song I ever put out. That last one was 2009, obviously. This is the first song I ever put out, and it means a lot, you know, with the mental health stuff we've been talking about. It's called FOMO. Gonna wake up in a year, forget tonight existed, won't remember all my fears.
No matter how persistent they might seem right now, it's me, my entire world. But in a few more weeks, these will be distant memories. But I wanna find out if it's possible, or if it's even fair, to be who I wanted to be when I was young and dared to settle for nothing less than my childhood superhero, the dreams of adolescent intellect. Oh, oh, oh. Sleeping in until the motivation appears to finish all my projects. Maybe I'll settle for less than perfect, connect what's here and free and realistic for survival. Disappoint 8-year-old me, but I wanna find out if it's possible, or if it's even fair, to be who I wanted to be when I was young and dared to settle for nothing less than my childhood superhero, the dreams of adolescent intellect. So worried that I'm sick, that I'm missing out on all of it, and I can't move because of this, which keeps me shaking, crying out to end and make it stop. What's in my head? I'm so exhausted, crossing my eyes, dodging the fees across the streets. It all seems like it's gonna be over soon, then it comes around again. Find a better place for me to send my thoughts, or make it and just get it over with. Give me the pills and therapists to fix the wiring in my brain again. I'm asking for your help, but you can't really see when hidden in these words. It don't look like a guarantee, but maybe if I scream, the fear of missing out is all I ever feel. But in a year or less, this'll be a stupid dream. But I wanna find out if it's possible, or if it's even fair, to be who I wanted to be when I was young and dared to settle for nothing less than my childhood superhero, dreams of adolescent intellect. But I wanna find out if it's possible, or if it's even fair, to be who I wanted to be when I was young and dared to settle for nothing less than my childhood superhero, the dreams of adolescent. Oh, the fear of missing out, it's all I ever feel. Oh, the fear of missing out, it's all I ever feel. Ooh, 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 ooh. Never said it was the only one. I never said that you were just no fun, but I've been thinking something, thinking for quite some time. Never said that two was better than one. Babe, you know my taste is second to none, so let me take it over tonight. Find another, baby, I'm so bored. Take the hint, my baby, oh my lord. I'm sick of it, sick of it, sick of it, I can't lie. Sick of it, sick of it, sick of it, oh my mind. Tonight, I see through your blood. Shit, this shit all the way down. Fuck. I know you think that this is overblown, but you still won't let me see your phone. Am I the crazy one? Cause I think that I've been out there. Find another, baby, I'm so bored. Take the hint, my baby, oh my lord. I'm sick of it, sick of it, sick of it, I can't lie. She said I'm too much, too much, too much, too much for you. I never said that you weren't enough for me. She said I'm too much, too much, too much, too much for you. I find another baby, I'm so bored. Take the hit, my baby, oh my lord. I'm sick of it, sick of it, sick of it, I can't lie. Oh, I'm sick of it, sick of it, sick of it, oh my, my. Sick of it, 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 oh my, my.
Woohoo.
Dropped all my bullshit. Hold up. I partied too hard. I dropped my my what's it called? Ergonomic mouse pad.
Oh.
I dropped my titty mouse pad, dude. That's so embarrassing.
Have a titty
Okay,
mouse.
one more song?
Yep. Take it away.
Not me not knowing how to play my own music. So this is the most recent song that we came out with. It's called, oh, I'm gonna waterboard myself first. Which is fitting because the song's called Hammer the Screw and the album art is me getting waterboarded, so, you know.
I'm sure it must be a sight when I sleep alone at night, watching memories on my phone. Curled up tightly on my side, setting my own hair alight. Suppose I'm reaping what I sow. Sometimes I close my eyes to the thought of what might come, and I find I cannot see past what's in front of me, but I do it on my own. So when I toss and turn, I think of her, I know just what she'd do. She laugh and say, good God, what's come of you? So when the thoughts still hurt and the skin is burned, I know just what I'll do. Find the tide, hammer the screw. Oh, and she pulls my hair aside, makes me look her in the eye, tells me just how much I've grown. I know I should feel some pride, so I smile and I lie. Couldn't do it on my own. And sometimes I close my eyes to the thought of what moves on.
Whew. Wow.
Thank you.
Electric. Thank you so much for that, Julie.
Hi, I'm Ira Abba, and you are watching 21st Pilots Lounge.